we continue our themes and connections to the words of the composition with some selections for Samhain 2025 are 1447 from Al-Quran, Surah 4, Ayat 43. O you who believe, do not perform your service of prayer when you are intoxicated, until you are sure of what you are saying. Nor when in a state of sexual keep away from, until you have taken a bath, except when you are traveling, but in case you are ill or are traveling, or you have relieved yourself of nature's call, are cohabitated with a woman, and cannot find water, then take wholesome dust and pass it over your face and hands. The causal is benign and forgiving. One of the things that we need to remember is that there's a difference between dirty and keep away from, and that we have the opportunity to take part in things as is our ability. We're not to be put to excessive hardship. So sometimes there's not the water, and we just do the dry ablution. You tap the dust and pass it over the hands and face. You don't rub dirt into your face. You brush your hands off on the dirt and then wipe over. Surah 4, Ayat 133. He could take you away if he will, O people, and replace you with others. The Acausal has the power to do so. Now, just as we have seen with the reference to women, there is, when we have commands, deity is gender neutral, and in general things go out to everyone, but when we have one gender or the other mentioned, obviously if the males have to do something in relation to the females have to do something similar or whatever, right? And Surah 6, Ayat 133, your Lord is all-sufficient and full of benevolence. He can take you away if he please, and make whom he will succeed you, as he has raised you from the progeny of others. There's been a lot more talk about family lines lately, and the point is, divinity makes the final decision about these lines. Whether your line will continue, whether their line will continue. 8:11, a blanketing sleep came over you as a security from him, and he sent down rain for the skies to cleanse you, and remove the plague of Satan, and to strengthen your hearts and steady your steps. Now, the Sakina is a reference to the angelic presence, a tranquility, as we can call it. Surah 9:15, and remove the anger from the breasts, for the Acausal turns to whoever desires. The Acausal is all-knowing and all-wise. And one of the points is that certain things are not forced upon us, but our state can be changed. And certainly there is capability within us to so engage. in emotional control. Surah 11, 814. Stand up for the service where you make contact. At the two ends of the day, at the first watch of the night, remember that good deeds nullify the bad. This is a reminder for those who are observant. It's important to realize that we are in charge of our spiritual station, and that particular times are particularly good for our making contact, which is another way of saying prayer. There's always some interesting things related to prayer in the languages of some of these scriptures, right? 14:19. Do you not see that the Apostle created the heavens and the earth with the ultimate reason? If so wills it, it could take you away from the earth and raise a new creation in your place. So our microcosm isn't so much required as we think. Surah 15, Ayat 15. They will say all the same, our eyes were dazed, we were a people ensorcelled. And just like in some of the Greek myths, there's the clouding over for those who aren't ready, for those who have not made the choice to be of service, to be worthy, however we're going to phrase that. 1572. Verily, by your life, they were utterly confused in their drunkenness. And, well, in the context that comes in, it's a drunkenness of being taken over by one's impulses. 1667. And in fruits of the date palm and the vine, from which you obtain inebriating drinks and excellent food, in this indeed are signs for those who understand. Now, in interest of protecting our consciousness or being in control of the consciousness, it's important to realize that the same things that may have intoxicants associated with it, there's something else, right? So even, the benefit of the substance is talked about as something different. Particularly we're talking about alcoholic beverages here. But we can extend this to other senses of plants. And no, I'm not going to criticize people for doing what they need to do. And Surah 22, 1-3, we find elsewhere that those who do what they need to do to survive aren't blamed for breaking some rule of clothing or food or whatever. O you people, fear your Lord. The great upheaval of the hour will indeed be terrible. The day you see it, every suckling female will forget her suckling, and every pregnant female will discharge her burden. You will see people drunk, yet it will not be intoxication. The torment of the acausal will be severe, and yet there are people who contend about the acausal without understanding, and follow every wayward devil. Certainly, we're in an age where people are following pretty much anything that they're going to label as guidance, right? And people are going insane for no real biological or exposure reason other than their own being led us away, right? 22:15. He who thinks that the apostle will not help him in this world and in the next should stretch a rope to the sky and then cut it off and see if his mind is relieved by this stratagem. Now, self-harm and all that isn't a good way towards knowledge, now is it? And as we went over in a previous verse, we have the idea that who brings forth the macrocosm and microcosm can, supersede the states that we're upon. 23:18. We send down water from the sky in determined measure and store it up in the earth, and we have the power to drain it away or to take it away, etc., etc. But remember, like a lot of the stuff that they say, oh, it's talking about the rapture in the Bible. Well, it's talking about something coming down, not taking things up into the sky. But, a lot of people can't read for themselves. 33:33. Stay at home and do not deck yourself with ostentation as in the time of emotional ignorance or ignorance of emotion, and fulfill your devotional duty, pay the poor due, obey the ultimate apostle and its sent one. The apostle desires to remove the impurities from you, O inmates of this house, and to cleanse and bring out the best in you. 35, 33, and 34. They will enter the gardens of Eden, where they will be adorned with bracelets of gold and pearls, and of silk will be their garments. They will say, all praise be to the apostle who has removed all care from us. Indeed, our Lord is forgiving and rewarding. And remember, one of the things that went into composing the poem for the seasonal relates to this wealth given by the spiritual side. But there needs to be a letting go. 37:99. And he said, I am going away to my Lord, who will show me the way. And we certainly do need to step outside of ourselves and, be where the apostle wants us to be. 46:20. The day the truth coverers are brought to the fire, you wasted all your good deeds in the life of the world and enjoyed them to the full. You will now be requited with a shameful punishment, for you behaved with arrogance for no reason on the earth and acted wickedly. It's important to distinguish between being pleased with yourself and some sort of undue thing, right? And the unaware, the uncontrolled, they're going to be surprised by their afterlife. 50:19. The palsy of death will surely come. This is what you wish to avert. So this is the example of what I mean when I say the green verses. And I will be saying them in Arabic, just like with what they call the New Testament. I will be referring to the Greek, which the King James Version of the Bible was derived from, and the Aramaic, or Biblical Hebrew, as people like to call it, for what they call the Old Testament. And I will talk more about these things when I get to the next program, when I go over the poem and, the symbols,